Crushers. I'm back. Just finished about 7 days up in Utah, and just wanted to kind of bring a quick video for anybody that's again new. It's kind of where we're coming from, mistakes we made, things that we figured out on the way up, and a couple things. Constantly trying to find something a little bit lighter, a little bit easier. And there's just a ton of videos out there about each individual product. I just wanted to bring to you what I decided to run with, why I decided to run with it, and it did shave off, a little bit of weight for me. So starting from left to right, historically we've used, the platypuses with the 2-liter bags in the drainage up to, your dirty bag. Putting it in a tree, draining it into another 2 liters. And for me, again, ounces matter. And so what I wanted to try this year was eliminating that. And there's pros and cons to everything. And so the pro to having that system is if you've got 2 or 3 guys with you or whatever, and you don't want to get water every day, you don't want to stop, every couple miles to fill up your Nalgene. That system's awesome. But that 2-liter water that you're packing in, obviously adds some weight to your pack. And so this year, what I chose to do was to go with the 1 dirty bag and the single platypus filter. Some of the reviews I saw before I decided to run with it, they said that it was slow, that it clogged relatively easy. And so I was a bit hesitant, but I thought, everybody's got their reasons behind, not liking something, or, maybe they're a little bit uptight on the flow. And so I decided, I'm going to run it anyway. And so I went ahead and picked it up. I got it at Go Hunt. It was on sale. And so for me with this, being able to roll this up and just putting it, in my pack, that's all you have. And so I filled up my Nalgene before, I started moving in. We ended up and did, I think, over 7 days, about 12 miles total. And so we went in about 4 miles, 4.6 miles, I think, off trail in Utah. There was plenty of water. And so, the positive, again, with it is that it is lightweight, it's easy to pack. The downside is you're going to have to make sure you can find water to constantly refill your Nalgene on the way up. For me, that was not an issue. I didn't mind stopping several times, or when I needed to fill up my bottle. I didn't mind getting up and near a stream and filtering water to make breakfast and get coffee. And so it was not that big of a deal. That being said, I had no problems at all with flow, with clogging, with cleaning. So I don't know if that was an early addition that the other people were reviewing, but I had 0 problems. So moving forward, I can't remember how many times you can actually filter before you have to replace this. I'm going to forget. I don't remember how many times I do it. I just roll with it. And so because they're cheap, I think you can just pick up the filter for maybe 20 bucks. I will probably end up and just buy a new one every year. That's just me. But if you can keep track of it and know how many times you filled your bladder up, then I'm sure it lasts a lot longer than that. I go on approximately 8 to 11 hunts a year. I'm not using this every single time, obviously, but I'm not, me personally, I'm not going to be able to keep track of it. So I'm just going to buy a new one every year and be done with it. It's simple. And if, I'll use it for a day here, a day there, but if I'm going out for another 7 to 10 days, I'm probably just going to pack a new one and just call it a day and know that I'm fine. So anyway, you can find them at Go Hunt. You can find them at Black Ovis. I think actually with the Labor Day sale, if you're looking for something now pre-rut and last minute pickup things, I totally recommend that. Just make sure you have a good size Nalgene bottle, which brings me to the next item. They Go Hunt had these. I saw them at the Western Hunting Expo. It's the hard side hydration. You can find them online as well. This thing is awesome. Again, without having a 2-liter bladder, you can fill your 48 ounces up. You've got your tube that goes into it. There's another straw that feeds down inside of here. You just replace this lid with this, and you've got your typical bite valve ready to go. I did not do any modifications to this. You can, if you want to, shorten your tubing up a little bit to make it fit a bit easier. It shows you just kind of, measure from your bottle over your shoulder strap, and then you basically cut this, and it's got a valve, a quick connect valve that you replace that segment that you've cut out. Again, 0 issues. It's just like any other bite valve. You've got a cover on it to keep all your debris out of the way, an on and off button for you. And then they also have, I believe, an insulation tube if you're going to be in below freezing temperature, so that your tube doesn't freeze. You can get one of those additionally if you need to. I was up in August, and so although the temps did get quite chilly in the morning for this Texas boy, it was not freezing temperature, so I didn't have any issues with that. Same thing with the filter. If you are going to go in freezing temperatures, I would recommend throw this into your sleeping bag with you because the filters can freeze. So kind of keep that in mind as well. But again, this thing was awesome. It was right on your hip belt. It was easy. Platypus, boom, filled it up. You're good to go. So recommend that over a platypus as well. And then you've got a nice hydration system, even when you're at home to keep with you at the gym or at the office, what have you. Moving along, last year I ran the MSR wind burner. Awesome system. Again, it is super efficient. You've got plenty of room, to put your fuel, your burner inside of here. If you want to take a coffee filter system, you can take that and put that all inside of here. But if you kind of look at the whole system, it's big, it's bulky, it takes up a lot of room. And again, for me this year, I just wanted to see, where I could cut weight, cut bulk, cut a couple ounces, here and there, just in case weighs a lot and ounces matter. So I decided to go ahead and try the Pocket Rocket. This thing is super nice. It's extremely small, as you can see. I got the whole cooking system, and so what you get is a measuring cup, your pot, and the burner itself, as well as this little kind of handle that you can pick this up with, to pour some hot water, and so it just clips on the side, and so you don't burn your hands. So that was kind of interesting and convenient. And then also the fact that you've got your measuring cups on the inside, so you know how much water you're putting in for your food or coffee, what have you. So it kind of takes that guessing game out of figuring out how much water to put into your big burner. Now, like I said, the downsides of that is this is not as efficient, and so with the wind burner, you're boiling water in 20-30 seconds. I mean, it's very fast, very good. It works awesome, as the name says, in wind. It doesn't go out, and so it's a great system for anybody that's out there looking. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll still use it, but I'm going to use it on shorter trips where I'm not packing as much gear in like I had to for this elk hunt. So these little wings kind of come out, and it takes a couple minutes, I guess, probably for me to figure out how to unfold this little dude. But once you kind of get it, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then your pot just sits right on top, and of course your fuel would be here at the bottom. And like I said, though, it will take probably a good minute or so for this to heat up your water. So, like I said, if you're going out for an extended period of time, you may want to consider taking an extra fuel can with you. I think you could probably fit 2 inside of here if you needed to. I only ate 1 meal a day, coffee in the morning, obviously, but I had no issues with the amount of fuel that I burned. But because of it not being as efficient, I would highly recommend, if you're doing 2 to 3 meals a day, if you're a lunch guy or what have you, or want to do some bone broth in the middle of the day, or some hot coffee or what have you, you might want to consider taking an extra fuel canister with you. That was kind of the 4 things I wanted to kind of touch base on. The other thing I would look at also doing that I tried this year is from Wilderness Athlete, and it's called Altitude Advantage. And what you do with that is you start taking it about 5 days in advance. It's a couple capsules a day, and what it's designed to do is to help you acclimate quicker. What I noticed was it 100% helped me acclimate faster. So instead of about 3 days, it took me just a little over a day to acclimate to the altitude. Where I really thought that it shined for me better was in my recovery. And so obviously, like I said, coming from Texas, up to 9,000 feet, it takes a lot out of you. And even though you're kind of going into it in shape physically, the fact of that lack of oxygen when you get up that high kind of takes a toll on you. So that being said, anytime I started getting winded and needed to it's Wilderness Athlete, and I would take this, you take it with you, and you continue taking it the entire time that you're there to help you throughout your whole trip. So, like I said, Wilderness Athlete, it's called Altitude Advantage. Check them out. They've got some great supplements. Even their packets of Hydrate and Recover are really good. And I just wanted to give that a shot just to see if I would notice any difference. I think next year I'm going to try the Mountain Ops. Has one as well. I like a lot of their products, especially kind of in the morning or at night, or their Yeti, kind of their pre-workout was kind of a good way to start the day. And then there are little energy drinks too. If you're not a coffee drinker, you just want to get up and get after it, you can take a little shot of their energy drinks they're very good. They're really tasty. They're tiny. I think they're maybe 2 ounces. And it's really good too to kind of get you up and running, or if you need a little boost in the afternoon, to take with you. Outside of that, I think the other thing, really, again, a lot of DIYers like myself that are really self-training, going out and kind of figuring it out on their own. One of the things I also would probably tell somebody if they were to ask me when to go on an over-the-counter, elk hunt, and there's not a whole lot of information that, at least that I've found out there about the time of year to go. Obviously, you want to go when it's rut. You want to get in a good spot, do your due diligence in finding water, finding some beds, some wallows. All of that's going to help. You can do that on any platform. Base Maps, Go Hunt, OnX. They've got a ton of information on how to find that, especially Go Hunt. they've got their platform. They've got a ton of videos on how to save it offline. I highly recommend kind of checking those out if you haven't. But if you are new and you don't know where to start, I would suggest to you that if you can wait until it truly is a rut. I went up with my buddies this year in August, and we knew it was going to be a tough hunt, but unfortunately it was the only time of the year that all three of us could get time away from work to be able to go. So we rolled the dice, we went up, and had a great time. We busted one bull, 3 cows, glassed a couple bulls, but we went all the way up to about 11.5, and it was just, a constant move, trying to bust them. They are not calling that time of the year, so you're not going to get any vocals out of them. They're not rutting yet. They're still bachelored up. And so if you want to utilize it as a scouting trip for going back out in September timeframe or October, whenever you can get away, 100%, I would say you could do that and really get some good glassing in. And narrow down your hunting territory, so to speak. But if it's your only time to go and you're limited on getting away or can only go once a year, I would suggest waiting until it's rut. There's going to be a little bit more pressure, a little bit more hunters, and I get it. But your success rate will be much greater, and so that would be my tip for anybody. Again, if you're brand new and just not knowing, when to go, and you're excited and you got your gear and you're ready to fly and you want to be out there opening day. Again, I get it. I'm with you, but the success rate and the effort that you've got to put into it. To do that much, spotting and stalking and glassing for a very little reward. However, if you do bag one, that reward is much greater because you put the time and effort into it. So that's your call. It's my little piece of advice that if anybody asks me, that's what I would tell them. Definitely go, but just know it's going to be a much harder hunt for you pre-rut, and I think if you talk to any of the big guys that are out there, they would probably tell you the exact same thing. But definitely use your onX's and base maps and really narrow down where you want to go. Have a plan before you go in. Know where you're going to stay. Know how deep you want to go. Don't meander all over the place. You're just going to wear yourself out, and it's just not, it's very physically demanding. But that being said, hey, I really appreciate y'all. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions on either the gear that I've taken, I wasn't going to do a bag dump. There's 100 videos on that. You just got to figure out for yourself what you want to take. I've kind of got mine dialed in to exactly what I need. Just a base layer. I would definitely recommend that. Definitely recommend some sort of rain gear, and at least one puffy, if not a good soft shell for the cold mornings. Again, I run cold, so I had to wear my puffy when the temperatures dropped at like 2 in the morning. I threw that dude on and slept in it. But outside of that, a good base merino, Kuiu, Sitka, whatever, will be perfectly fine during the day. Just being able to let that sweat as you're kind of trudging through and spotting and stalking and glassing and keeping that temperature regulated, I think is a good idea. But you don't need to go crazy. You don't need down pants and all other stuff, especially for an August or early September hunt. Trying to keep that weight down for you. Pack minimal, and you'll have a great time. But anyway, in the meantime, again, thanks guys for watching. And I appreciate all the likes and the comments. Check out the podcast, Smash or Pass, with my buddy Travis from Apex Predator Outdoor. Check out his channel. He's got some great stuff. on a lot more product, in-depth reviews from the archery side. He does a great job explaining everything. He's got some merch on his site as well. But again, Smash Your Pass, we try to drop the best we can. We both have jobs and trying to get guests on and do a 45-minute to an hour podcast. And it's difficult at times, but we try to do them on Mondays. And so if you want to check that out, see what we put up so far, I think it's pretty good. We're trying to do a series now with some female hunters and try to bring more attention to females that want to get into the sport as well. So as for now, as always, thank you, and every day give excellence.